County prosecutors say enforcement against sexting depends on the letter of the law versus the intent of the law. According to police, sexting cases do involve victims. Police also say that in many of these cases, the victims should have known not to sext. Cell phones and sexting. One Joplin psychologist says teens today are breaking boundaries without a second thought.
Desensitization occurs over time.
Dr. Charles Doyle believes many teens consider sending nude pictures of themselves through text messaging apps and the internet a rite of passage.
Everybody has a cell phone now. Everybody's using it. Everybody's communicating with it. It's just a simple step from there.
That first step to get those pictures is oftentimes indiscreet.
Well, you kind of warm them up through text messaging, the way you talk to them, the way you go about saying different things to persuade them into sending the pictures.
A man who we will call Joe talks about sexting while in high school.
Once you get the pictures, it just pretty much escalates for a guy to just, share it with their buddies.
Joe says having nude and semi-nude pictures of female students in the same school as him was like having baseball cards.
Do whatever they need to do with it, whether it's to trade for different ones or to just show the buddies, oh, this is that girl, you know what I mean? And then they can tell everybody else throughout school or wherever else.
Dr. Doyle says most females sext because of a need for a relationship.
They want to feel like they're part of the peer group. They want to be accepted. They want to be popular.
But Doyle says to most guys, it's all a game. Joe says the more a girl refuses to send pictures of her body, the more she becomes a targeted prize.
It'd be kind of a game to have your buddies try to get her pictures, and whoever can get those pictures will, be the guy that pretty much persuaded her to do it.
Joplin police say last year, 3 high school students shared more than 100 sexual-oriented pictures of female students.
I didn't see within the case any specific motives that were ill-intended.
No charges were filed by the county prosecutor against the 3 students, even though police requested misdemeanor and felony charges.
Usually prosecution does not happen in a sexting situation. But sometimes when that teenager is 18 years old and this was used for intentional purposes, maybe to manipulate or harass or just to shame the person, sometimes the legal system will step in and say, we can't have that. We've got to stop that.
I mean, whenever you're at that age, it's, they feel like they're not necessarily above the law, but to the point where it's, oh, you can't do that to me. I'm still underage. Like, especially if they're underage, you can't charge me with anything.
There are charges which still could be brought in this case with Joplin High School if evidence came forward. Under my ethical rules, I'm not allowed to discuss the particulars of facts where charges could still be brought.
But Joe, who was not a student in Joplin, doubts if strict criminal prosecution of sexting would make a difference.
Sexting is out there forever. It's definitely not going to stop.
The circulation of any sexed picture can't be stopped either.
We see in these cases, even locally, we see the reach of these comes from an international perspective. And so we'll see out of Russia or Germany or other countries reaching out to local children and plying them for pictures. Once they obtain one picture of one of these young victims, then typically what you're going to see is a blackmail effort after that, even if it's just an emotional blackmail of threatening, I'm going to share this with the world.
Psychologists say it's a bit of irony. A generation so strongly connected to technology can be out of reach with reality. Police say parents are the best way to prevent teens from sexting, and strict parenting is what works best. Parents should follow their children's social media accounts and have full access to cell phones anytime. Police say if teenagers refuse this access, they shouldn't be allowed to have cell phones.